So as you can see, I've got myself a little tier list here.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Of all of the episodes in the Bad Batch Season 1. So I said this video was coming. I've already filmed it once, and well, basically the footage messed up. That's why all the things are in F tier, not just like sat at the bottom like they normally are. So that means that I at least have somewhat of an order that I know that I'm already going to stick to. So, you know, it could be worse. Obviously, it's a bad thing the footage got, like, corrupted. But like I said, could be worse. I at least know somewhat of how I'm going to rank these. But anyway, yeah, let's get on with it. So starting off, we have actually episode 1 of season 1, obviously the longest episode of the season, and for me, a definite S tier episode. So good. Obviously we saw Kanan and Depa Billaba, Order 66, and just surely for the amount of like length the episode has, it could cram in more content, and well, what they decided to cram in was very good. It doesn't seem like they stretched out like a normal length episode to get it to be longer. It more seems that they like crambled in about like 2 hours into, well, this 50 minutes. It was very good. I very much enjoyed it. Picked up right where we left off with the Bad Batch in season 7 in terms of like the characters as they are, like how they like react and act in every single way. But yeah, definitely very good and a perfect start to the season in my opinion. Now following this, just at the opposite end of the season, we have the part 1 of the season finale. For me, better than the part 2 of the season finale, and I'm going to put it in A tier. Not as good as episode 1 in my opinion, but still a very good episode, despite like what I've said about the season finale in terms of an individual episode. It is very enjoyable, and I'm sure when I rewatch the Bad Batch, I will enjoy it. Now, speaking of the season finale, I believe this is the actual finale, or part 2 of the finale. Like I just said, I preferred part 1, so this is going to go into B tier. It's not bad, like I said in my video talking about the finale. If I already got told that the story for the season finale would be Kamino going down and they get off Kamino, this is basically like the perfect version of that storyline. However, I'm not a fan of the storyline basically. So still a good episode, B tier definitely, but nothing special. Now speaking of nothing special, we have the Martez sisters, and yeah, a weird like pairing to bring back. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like them in season 7. I didn't think they were that bad, although I didn't like that arc too much. I thought they were more enjoyable in the Bad Batch, however. So again, I was about to say again I'm going to put it in B tier, but no, I am going to put it in B tier actually, but potential to go down. I just remembered the fact that they like reprogram these separatist droids to fight with them, and that scene alone at the end and the echo joke probably solidifies it in B rather than C.
What we need is a diversion. Is there an echo in here?
Yes.
What?
An echo.
Really?
Now the episode with Cut Lawquane, I think is overrated by people because of the appearance of Cut. Like, yes, Cut is a fantastic character, but this episode, not really much happened. Like, we obviously saw a bit more of the transition from the Republic to the Empire with the hologram of Rampart. I just said Lampart then. For some reason, Frank Lampard came to my head. Anyway, of Rampart and, like, doing the credits and stuff like that. So a decent episode, but for me, not much more than a C tier. And speaking of not much more than a C tier, I'm going to put the Moochie episode. Yes, a fun cameo of Bib Fortuna and the Gamorrean guards at the end.
They were no longer.
Showing like how Jabba acquires his Rancors. This was not the Rancor that Luke had to fight, by the way. And actually, no, I'm going to put it in B tier, and I'm going to rearrange the like episodes within their tiers at the end, but I'm going to put it in B tier because I do remember actually liking this episode. They get captured by the Zygerians. Omega comes and lets out Moochie. Obviously they escape. Wrecker has to fight Moochie. There's that big like dragon creature. It was a fun episode, not too plot developing, but definitely a fun episode, so definitely deserving of a B tier in my opinion. Now another fun episode is when Fennec Shand returns, and that is going to be the next one. I don't know where I want to put this because yes, Fennec Shand was great. There was a great chase scene, a lot of stuff with Omega, Hunter, and Fennec as like the main theme of this episode, and I thought it was quite good. And I'm thinking a high B tier, not quite an A tier. But yeah, like I said, a great episode. Obviously, we had some more of Wrecker hitting his head. That was like a key theme at the time.
I just hit my head.
We couldn't have an episode where Wrecker doesn't hit his head. Obviously, Fennec beats him up with ease in this one, kind of setting up her later fight with Cad Bane, showing how like good she really is. And yeah, fun episode, but nothing special. B tier, but still above average. I'd say that C tier is average. I know it's like, well, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can't get an exact middle because, say, C is middle, well, there's 2 below, 3 above, so technically it's not middle. But I would say that C is like where I'm going to put the average ones, and then the ones that I genuinely don't like are going to go below C. But anyway, on to this one with Crosshair. I forget what it's called, like the episode, I forget the episode number, but definitely a very, very good one. This is the one where we get introduced to Cad Bane, so I'm going to put it as an A tier. Crosshair works very, very well with his squad of stormtroopers, or, well, are they still clones? Or are they the actual people? I forget, but there's a bunch of them. I imagine some of them are the people, some of them are clones. I don't know, but it was a great episode. He outsmarts Tech, and the Bad Batch works very well with his squad, like I just said. Bane is introduced, he gets his, Crosshair gets his face burnt up. A lot of theories came from this episode of, like, what would happen next, and the episodes that spark, like, theories to, like, come from it are some of the better ones, so this one is definitely deserving of an A tier. Now, moving on to the next episode with Cad Bane, the one where he fights Fennec Shand, where we see, like, the people in those tubes of the abandoned Kamino facility. Another episode where a lot of theories came from it, like even some Snoke stuff, because, you know, people didn't really know what were in those tubes. But, like I said, the ones with theories tend to rank higher, so this one's definitely going in A tier, let alone the fact that it, like, had an incredible fight scene with Bane and Fennec. Obviously, a lot of people weren't too happy about the result of that fight, but I thought it was fine. It just shows how good Fennec really is. Now, I believe this next one is the second episode. I could be wrong, but I'm going to put it in A tier. I do remember liking this one quite a lot. Just the general... Wait, no, is it? No, I didn't like the second episode quite a lot. I liked what we saw of Crosshair in the second episode, but what we saw of the Bad Batch was just them, like, chasing that thing that stole the part off of their ship. So I'm conflicted whether to put it B or C. In terms of what we saw of the Bad Batch is definitely C or below, and what we saw of Crosshair is definitely B or above, and I believe we saw more of the Bad Batch than what we saw of Crosshair. So I'm gonna put it in, no, I don't know, I'm gonna put it in a low B. I think a low B is high C. No, I think high C is better. But yeah, for a minute then I just forgot what actually happened in that episode, and I got blinded by seeing Crosshair on the front of the picture. Now, the one with Gregor, obviously Hunter gets left behind. A lot of theories happen from this, like wondering what would happen to Hunter. A very, very good episode, and I think a high B or low A is where I'm going to put it. High B, I think high B is where it deserves. Again, more of a fun one than a plot developing one, because obviously we got Gregor back and then he wasn't involved in the finale, he was dumped with Sid, but very, very cool. So yeah, one that I will very much enjoy on the rewatch. Now this one here, the first one on Ryloth, was pretty good, but a supreme lack of the Bad Batch made me think that the next episode was going to be incredible, because this one was setting it up. However, I'll get onto that one in a minute. But for this one, I think that a B tier is probably fitting for it. It was definitely not bad, probably above average. And I liked seeing what they did with Cham Syndulla, Hera, Chopper, Hera's mum, and stuff like that. I thought it was a cool idea to bring them into the Bad Batch series, link it more to the Clone Wars, and also what they did with Orn Free Tar, obviously Crosshair shooting him, like made me excited for the next episode, basically. Because I didn't know how they would deal with the situation. Like, I assumed they were going to blame Cham Syndulla for trying to kill him, say, which would make Ryloth potentially turn against Cham. Basically, I was very excited for the next episode because of this one. So for that, B tier. Now this one is, out of all of the ones I've seen so far on this tier list, is my least favourite by far, and I'm going to put it in D tier. Just not much happened. Like, yeah, I enjoyed seeing, like, the minecarts and the underground stuff under, like, Sid's parlour, Sid's bar, Sid's place. I don't actually know what it's called, but yeah, it was cool to see that. But at the end of the day, they were just stealing some spice for Sid basically and got her place back. However, I did enjoy seeing the Pikes, got me hyped for a potential like Maul appearance, even if it's just them talking to him on a hologram. But yeah, obviously that didn't happen, and the episode just wasn't really that good. Even if we saw Maul, the hype for him alone couldn't bring this above a C tier, and because there was no Maul, it's staying in D. Now the next one, obviously I talked about that when I mentioned the first Ryloth episode. I was very excited for this one. I do think it was a bit of a letdown, but that doesn't mean it was bad. It was just not as good as I expected it to be, because it had basically a whole episode setting up. So I'm going to put it in B as well, I think. I don't know what the order of the B tier is going to be. But I definitely don't think it's like anywhere near the A tier episodes, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, now moving on to this one, this is another one that I'm not a fan of. They just go to the old Separatist planet where now the Empire are like, well, heavily involved there, and they take a Separatist off of it to save him because he doesn't agree with what the Empire's doing. It's basically another Sid mission, and genuinely the worst one of the lot, so it's staying in D tier and it's going to stay at the bottom of it. And now the last episode that I have to rank here is the one where Rex returns, Wrecker turns, and they all get their inhibitor chip removed. So a very good episode, and it's going to get plonked in A tier, definitely deserving of it. What like most of the first half of the Bad Batch was building up to, obviously Wrecker's turn. Yes, I would have liked it to last a little bit longer, or potentially forever, because I was one that was saying I want to see Wrecker turn because I think he'll be an absolute beast when he does, and he's not got his like childlike personality. But we didn't see it for very long. However, when we did, he took on basically the whole of the Bad Batch, obviously minus Crosshair. So yeah, pretty cool, worth the weight of Wrecker hitting his head all the time. So A tier for me. Now, as you can see, I've ranked all the episodes. I'm going to reshuffle them, and then, well, that'll be it. And there we have it then. I think I am mostly happy with the order of that list. Obviously, I've moved one down to F tier because, well, I just really hated that episode, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that order. I might, like, well, in a few days look back on this and want to change a few. But generally, it won't change that much. So let me know if you agree with my tier list. Let me know if there's any huge ones that you agree with or hugely disagree with. And yeah, feel free to do your own tier list. Obviously, just tiermaker.com, search up Bad Batch episodes, and well, that tier list will come up. So yeah, that is obviously my list. You can see on the screen. Thank you for watching. Please do leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new and click the notification bell. It helps me out a lot. And we are fastly approaching 10k. And like I've been saying, I have a really good 10k special planned, and you won't want to miss it. Trust me when I say that. It is going to be by far my best ever video, like by far, if I decide to actually do it and I don't just like, well, scrap the idea. But I don't think I will because of how good it is. But anyway, thank you for watching. That is all. Goodbye.